Bonjour, les étudiants of class 11. So welcome to this session. Okay, so some of you will be new, and my name is Peter. Okay, so this session I'll be taking. So it's actually a revision session before the midterm test, and we got few exercises to finish. In the first lesson, that is exercise 9. Okay, then 15, 16, and 18, I think. Okay, so voila. And the ninth exercise, it's a small little exercise with the verb être, habiter, and parler. And the other one, it's actually a kind of composition. Okay, you'll be doing the self introduction, introducing your friend, and one comprehension exercise. We'll be doing that, and then we'll be continuing with the translation of lesson 1. Okay, as I told you, it's a revision for the midterm test. We'll be revising the lesson. In the second session, we'll be revising all the exercises. It will be a quick revision. We'll be doing all the 15 exercises in one stretch. Okay, just check your answers if you're writing it properly and so on. And those who are new, okay, so I welcome you again. So if you find it difficult, if you find French a bit difficult, or if it's a bit confusing, I suggest you two things. One is actually you write your classwork. Okay, so first, what all you see in the class, in the video class, you just write. Okay, so write neatly, properly. You'll be having a better idea. So half of your problem it's over. Then actually try to spend at least 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes of time for French each and every day. Then you won't be having any problem. Okay, no need to go to tuition or anything. Don't waste time. So you can just write your classwork and revise for 15 minutes. That's enough. Okay, so now let's get into the slides. Okay, ciao. So here the masculine nouns, les noms masculins. We'll just read it once. Okay, so then we'll go for the meanings. Le crayon, le taille-crayon, le champ, le pupitre, le timbre, le journal, le mot, le marché, le mouchoir, le pain, le gâteau, le cadeau. Okay, so le crayon means the pencil or the crayon. Le taille-crayon means the sharpener. Okay, just the word taille means size. Okay, to size the pencil, for example. Okay, so that's how they named. It's the sharpener. Le champ. Okay, le champ means the field. Okay, the agriculture land, the field. We say le champ. Le pupitre. Le pupitre means the desk. Okay, where in which the students use to write and so on. Le pupitre, the desk. Le timbre. Le timbre, which means the stamp. To send a letter and so on, we'll be using a stamp, right? Okay, so le timbre means the stamp. Le journal. Le journal means the newspaper, the journal or the newspaper. Le mot. Le mot, which means the word. Le marché, the market. Okay, don't get confused with the word marché. We got a verb called marcher, which means to walk. Okay, that's a verb, and this is actually a noun. Okay, le marché means the market. Le mouchoir. Le mouchoir means the handkerchief. Le pain, which means the bread. Okay, so France is really famous for its bread. Le pain, the bread. Le gâteau. Le gâteau means the cake. And the last one, it's le cadeau. Le cadeau means the gift. Often it's confused between gâteau and cadeau. Okay, gâteau means the cake and cadeau means the gift. Yeah. So now we'll go for the feminine nouns. Here, la rue, la règle, la gomme, la pomme, la glace, la clé, la valise, la circulation, la librairie, la bibliothèque, la vie, la bouteille. So la rue, which means the street. Okay, the street or the road. Okay, we call la rue. La règle. La règle means the scale or the ruler. Okay, so which we use to draw lines. Okay, and mostly used for mathematics. La règle. Okay, the scale or the ruler. La gomme. La gomme, which means the eraser. Okay, the eraser or the rubber. Okay, eraser normally. La pomme means the apple, the fruit, the apple. La pomme. La glace. La glace means the ice cream. Okay, la glace, ice cream. La clé. Okay, la clé. There is an accent missing over the E. C-L-E, accent aigu. Okay, there will be an accent from right to left. Okay, so please mark it. La clé means the key. La valise. La valise means the suitcase. Okay, when you're traveling and so on, you'll be using valise. Oui? La valise. La circulation. La circulation means the traffic. Oui, la circulation, traffic. La librairie. La librairie. It's quite similar to the word library, but library, which means the bookshop or the bookstore. Okay, where you can purchase books, we call as la librairie. And the next word, la bibliothèque, which means the library. La bibliothèque means the library. The 11th word, la vie. La vie, which means the life. Oui, la vie means the life. La bouteille. La bouteille means the bottle. Okay, the bottle we call la bouteille. So that's it. Some masculine and feminine nouns are here. Okay, so later if you have anything, if you learn something new, you can add it in the list. Okay, you can add it in the list. If you can write it in 2 different pages, okay, you can just continue adding those words so that you'll remember. And so now we'll head to the 9th exercise, which was left, okay, during the teaching. The 9th exercise was left, and before going to the 9th exercise, we'll just revise these 4 verbs: être, s'appeler, parler, and habiter. Okay, these 4 verbs we'll revise, and then we'll move to the 9th exercise. Les verbes: être, s'appeler. Okay, so être means to be, and s'appeler means to call oneself. Okay, the verb être, it's an auxiliary verb in French. Even in other languages, it is one of the most important verbs. And so the conjugation will be je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. And the verb s'appeler, which means to call oneself: je m'appelle, tu t'appelles, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle, nous nous appelons, vous vous appelez, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle. So the verb s'appeler will be used to mention a name. For example, je m'appelle. If I say je m'appelle, which means my name is, okay, or I call myself as, okay, so je m'appelle Peter. Okay, so it means my name is Peter. In order to say your name, we'll be using the verb s'appeler. And the verb être, okay, it's to describe something, to say your nationality, to say your profession, okay, to talk about someone's or your physical appearance and so on. We'll be using the verb être. Oui? Voilà. So now we'll go for the other 2 verbs, which are parler and habiter. So these 2 are er ending verbs. Okay, these 2 are er ending verbs, which belong to the first group of verbs, which means they got a rule, they'll follow the rule. Okay, whereas the verb être and the other irregular verbs, they don't. Okay, so in order to conjugate an er ending verb, so you got to remember 3 things. Okay, so first you write the subject pronouns: je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. Okay, so then you cut er from the infinitive form. Okay, er from the infinitive form. For example, parler, P-A-R-L-E-R, right? So the last er you cut er, and then you write next to the subject pronouns P-A-R-L, P-A-R-L, like that. And then at the last you'll be adding the endings. So where you have cut er, you'll be placing the endings, which is es, ons, ez, ent, ent. Okay, so this is actually the rule to conjugate a er ending verb. Oui? So parler, which means to speak or to talk. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle, on parle, nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. So in between we added on parle. So on, it's actually a pronoun, which means we speak. Okay, on parle, on means we or they. Okay, it depends on the situation. On means we or they. Even nous means we. Okay, we can use nous parlons or on parle. That's fine. And the verb habiter. Habiter, which means to live. To live. J'habite, tu habites, il habite, elle habite, on habite. Nous habitons, vous habitez, ils habitent, elles habitent. Oui? So habiter, which means to live. J'habite à Pondichéry. J'habite à Pondichéry, which means I live in Pondicherry. Okay, so whereas the verb parler, for example, je parle Tamil. Je parle Tamil, which means I speak Tamil. Okay? Voilà. So the difference between these two verbs, it's actually the verb parler starts with a consonant and the verb habiter starts with a vowel. Okay, so if a verb starts with a vowel, so what we do, we use J apostrophe. Okay, instead of JE for the first person singular, we use J apostrophe. Okay, so that's it. The other changes will be in the pronunciation. For nous, vous, il, elle, the S will be pronounced as is it, and then we'll be joining those two words. Nous habitons, vous habitez, ils habitent, elles habitent. That way. Right? So now we'll head to the exercise, the 9th exercise. Here we are. Compléter avec les verbes être, s'appeler, parler. And we don't use habiter here. Okay, so we'll go for the sentences. We got 5 sentences. Vous dash comment. Okay, so there is no continuity as they are like with the alphabetical order A, B, C, D, E. Those are different sentences normally. Okay, or you can even consider them as a dialogue. Okay, so for example, the first one, vous dash comment, you got to conjugate the verb s'appeler there. Vous appelez comment. So in order to ask what is your name, okay, what is your name, in French we'll be asking vous appelez comment. Right? So in this next slide we'll be seeing the answers, don't worry. So the second sentence, it's je dash Christian. Right? Je dash Christian, and here you can see Christian is a name. You can use the verb s'appeler again. Je m'appelle Christian. Okay, je m'appelle Christian, or you can even use the verb être. Je suis Christian. I am Christian. Okay, so but the verb s'appeler is better. Okay, but we can't use parler. We don't say je parle Christian. No. Okay, je suis Christian or je m'appelle Christian. So the third sentence, vous dash français. Okay, vous dash français. So here in this sentence, even the verb être is possible. The verb parler is even possible. If you ask with être, vous êtes français, which means you are French. Are you a French? You belong to France. Okay, something like that. And if you use the verb parler, vous parlez français, which means you speak French. You speak French. So now you got a confusion. So we'll move to the next sentence. You can see the answer is yes. Je dash un peu français. Je dash un peu français. Un peu means a little bit. Okay, a little French. Okay, so you can't be a little French. Okay, you can speak little French, but you can't be a little French. So it's better we use the verb parler. Okay, for C and D, the sentence C and D, we better use the verb parler. Vous parlez français, P-A-R-L-E-Z. And for the D one, oui, je parle un peu français. Yes, I speak a little bit French. And the last one, okay, so it's actually C apostrophe it's given. It's présentatif. Okay, it's to present something. Okay, it's to introduce something. C apostrophe comes with always the verb être. Okay, est. C apostrophe est, it means it is or this is or he is, she is, depends on the context. C'est votre ami, is it your friend? It is your friend. C'est votre ami, it's a question mark. Okay, is it your friend? So we'll be using the verb être for the last sentence. The C and D, third and fourth sentence, we'll be using the verb parler, and the first two sentences we'll be using the verb s'appeler. Here are the answers. So vous appelez comment? Je m'appelle Christian. Vous êtes français or vous parlez français. It's better with parler. That's why I have highlighted être with in red. Okay, it's better you write parler. Vous parlez français. Oui, je parle un peu français. And the last one, c'est votre ami. Is it your friend? And those who are new to French, so try to memorize the verbs. Okay, try to practice the verbs, the verb être and so on. You got to memorize like poems. Okay, so the spellings, the pronunciation, meanings. Okay, these three things you got to practice. Right? So now we'll go for the 16th exercise. Okay, the 16th exercise in your book, it's présenter votre ami. It's kind of composition. Okay, it's kind of composition, but we are not going to write a big essay or something. Okay, so as you are beginners, okay, 11th standard, it's basic, the first lesson especially. So we better write some small points about your friend. Okay, the 16th exercise, it's présentez votre ami. Okay, which means introduce your friend. Okay, so I've just written like eight lines. Okay, so 8 lines. I'll just read it once, then we'll go for the meanings. Je présente mon ami. Il s'appelle Asha. Il a 16 ans. Il est indien. Il est étudiant. Il habite à Pondichéry. Il parle 3 langues. Il est intelligent. Okay, so for some of the sentences you can guess the meaning, right? Okay, so the very first line after the heading, okay, je présente mon ami. Okay, je présente mon ami, which means I introduce my friend. Okay, I introduce or I present. Okay, présenter means to introduce. Je présente, I introduce my friend, mon ami. Okay, il s'appelle Arsha. Okay, so il s'appelle Arsha. So his name is Harsha. Okay? Il s'appelle, the verb s'appeler is used. Then il a 16 ans. Okay, il a 16 ans means he is 16 years old. But when you're mentioning the age in French, we'll be using the verb avoir and not être. Okay, we already saw the verb être. In English, we'll be saying I am 16 years old. Okay, for example, I am 16 years old, you are 16 years old, that way. But in French, we don't say I am, I'll be saying I have 16 years. Okay? So we'll be using il a. Okay, maybe in the second lesson you'll be saying the verb avoir. Il a 16 ans. The third one, il est indien. Okay? Il est indien, he is an Indian. Il est étudiant, he is a student. Okay, so indien, it means Indian and it's in masculine form. Careful of the spelling, it's not Indian like in English. Okay, instead of A we'll be having E. Indien. Okay, il est indien. Il est étudiant. Étudiant means student, he is a student. Il habite à Pondichéry. Il habite à Pondichéry, he lives in Pondicherry. The verb habiter we have used. Then the last before point, il parle 3 langues. Il parle 3 langues. He speaks 3 languages. Okay, for languages we'll be using langue. Okay, and the last point, il est intelligent. Il est intelligent means he is intelligent. Okay, so as you all know, Arshavardhan, okay, besto. So il est intelligent, il parle 3 langues, il habite à Pondichéry, il est étudiant, il est indien, il a 16 ans, il s'appelle Arsha. Okay, and je présente mon ami. Okay, so this one you can write point by point or you can write it even as a paragraph. Okay, so if you write point by point, it will be easy for you to learn. Okay, so careful with the spellings. Okay, so you may make mistakes. Okay, there are accents for the word étudiant. Pondichéry, before Pondichéry we got a with accent, so careful with those. Even the word présente, je présente mon ami, présente got an accent. And the second line, il s'appelle, S after S we got an apostrophe. Okay, so those are small details that you got to be careful with. Okay, so hope this is fine. Now we'll move to the next exercise, the 17th exercise, présentez-vous. Okay, so présentez-vous, it's actually introduce yourself, introduce you, talk about you. Okay, so the previous exercise we were talking about our friend, and this exercise we'll be talking about ourselves. Okay, it's a basic self-introduction. Okay, and same way we got the same 8 points, but with the first person. Okay, so the previous exercise it was with the third person, and here we'll be doing it the first person. Je me présente. Oui, je me présente. I introduce myself. Okay, in English the myself will go after the verb, but in French the myself will be before the verb. Okay, it's a pronoun, we place it before the verb. Je me présente. Okay, so we don't literally translate. Okay, and je m'appelle Vedant. Okay, for example, we take the name of a Dumbo. Oui, je m'appelle Vedant. J'ai 14 ans. J'ai 14 ans. So my name is Vedant. I'm 14 years old. Okay, so 14 or 16. Okay, you can, the ones which are in green, you can change. Okay, the ones which are in green, you can change. Okay, you can name your name. Okay, and in the place of 14, you can just add your age. Okay, and the third one, je suis indien. Je suis indien. I am an Indian. Je suis étudiant. I am a student. J'habite à Pondichéry. I live in Pondicherry. Je parle trois langues. I speak 3 languages. So it's actually the same exact points like we saw in the previous thing, and but the verb and the subject pronouns, they change. Okay, careful with that. So in the previous exercise we used il, and here we use je. So according to the subject pronoun, the verb also changes. So the conjugation you got to learn in order to write this. Okay, so if you write je and if you write est, then it's wrong. Okay, so voilà, je suis indien, je suis étudiant, j'habite à Pondichéry, je parle 3 langues, je suis grand. In the previous sentence, previous exercise, we saw je suis intelligent, il est intelligent, he is intelligent. And in this thing, we'll say je suis grand, which means I am big, I am tall. Okay, I am tall. So you can take note. Okay, you can change those things. Okay, if you're not an Indian, if you are something else, okay, you can just write that nationality. Student, you can write étudiant itself. Pondicherry, if you are now residing in Chennai, as it's online, for example, you can write your native place. And the number of languages, if you speak 5-7 languages, you can write 5-7 the number. And then adjective, if you know something else, you can write. If you got petit, for example, for small, you can write je suis petit, je suis grand, and so on. So hope it's fine. So now we'll move to the 18th exercise. The 18th exercise, which is a comprehension. Okay, so which is a comprehension. We'd have done it in 10th standard. Okay, even in English we used to do it from 5th standard, class 5 or class 4 even. Okay, so this is in French, this is basic. Okay, you can see there are 2 small paragraphs. Okay, there are 2 small paragraphs. And in the next slide, I just mentioned the questions. We got 4 questions. Okay. Voilà. So now, lisez le texte suivant. The 18th exercise, okay, it's a comprehension. Lisez le texte suivant, which means read the following text. Read the following paragraph or the text. So we'll just read it once in French, then we'll go for the English meanings, then we'll go for the question answers. Oui. Ce geste vanakkam en tamoul ou namaste en hindi ou en sanskrit est utilisé pour montrer le respect à l'autre. Les jeunes Indiens se saluent souvent en disant good morning or hi. The second paragraph now. En France, pour saluer, on se serre la main, on s'embrasse ou on fait signe de la main. On dit bonjour ou salut en France. Okay, so this text, it's about the greeting. Okay, so the greeting culture in India and in France. Okay, it's a small comparison to greet someone, what we do in India and what they do in France. Okay, so in India, so what we do, it's actually we say vanakkam or namaste. Okay, we join our hands, okay, and we say vanakkam, okay, or we say namaste, right? So that's actually to respect, to show respect to someone. Okay, that's what we do. And if it in words, okay, for example, we youngsters, for example, okay, so the boys in school, the colleges and so on, we don't do that. We don't do vanakkam or namaste. Okay, we just wave our hands, or we just say good morning, or we just say hi, hey. Okay, so that's what they mean. And in France, what they do, okay, instead of joining their hands, okay, they'll be shaking their hands. Okay, they'll be shaking their hands, or they hug. Okay, so or they hug, or if not, they just wave their hand. Okay, they'll be waving their hand, they'll be just giving a sign. Okay, by words they'll be saying bonjour or salut. Bonjour means saying good morning and salut means hi. Okay, so this is what this text says. So ce geste vanakkam, we'll go word by word. Ce geste vanakkam en Tamil. So this gesture, okay, in the book you can see the image of saying vanakkam, joining hands. This gesture vanakkam in Tamil, u namaste, u means or namaste on Hindi, or namaste in Hindi, u en Sanskrit, okay, even in Hindi and in Sanskrit we just say namaste, I think, okay, est utilisé pour montrer le respect à l'autre. Est utilisé is used to show respect to the other person, okay, to show respect to the other. Les jeunes Indiens, the young Indians, okay, the young Indians, se saluent souvent, okay, greet often. Okay, the young Indians, they don't do vanakkam or namaste. They often greet by saying, on disant means by saying good morning or hi. Okay, if we meet our friends outside, what we say? We say hi, right? Okay, so, or we say good morning, a good day, good morning, so that way. So the second paragraph, en France, pour saluer, in France, in order to greet, pour saluer means for greet or in order to greet. On se serre la main, on se serre la main, which means we shake hands, okay, we shake hands. On s'embrasse, okay, so we shake hands or we hug. Ou on fait signe de la main, or they wave their hands, okay, they show a sign with their hand. On dit bonjour ou salut, they say bonjour or hi, salut. Okay, so as I told you, on dit means we say or they say. Okay, so they say hi or bonjour, salut or bonjour in France. So that's it. So now we'll go for the questions. Répondez aux questions, the 18th exercise, the same exercise, but below the text we'll be having some questions. Here we got 4 questions. I will read the questions. Comment est-ce qu'on montre le respect en Inde? So in order to answer these kind of exercises, you got to be sure, you got to be master, okay, you got to really know the meanings of the words comment, que, okay, qu'est-ce que, the questioning words you got to know, okay, so only then you can understand the question and give an appropriate answer, okay? So comment est-ce qu'on montre le respect en Inde? So how do we show respect in India? Okay, so how do we show respect in India? So by saying vanakkam, okay, so by joining our hands, okay, or by saying vanakkam or namaste, right? So that's the answer for the first one. In the next slide we'll see the answers. So the second question, que disent les jeunes Indiens pour saluer? Que disent, okay, what the young Indians say, these, okay, the second word these, D-I-S-E-N-T, means to say, okay, what the young Indians say in order to greet. Okay, so what they say good morning or hi, right? So that's the answer for the second one. Okay, so les jeunes Indiens disent good morning or hi pour saluer. Okay, the word is actually good morning ou hi. Okay? So the third question, comment les Français se saluent-ils? How the French people, they greet each other. Okay, so how it's actually the way they greet. Okay, so on se serre la main, on se serre la main, so by shaking hands, ou on s'embrasse, okay? On s'embrasse, which means or they hug, okay, ou on fait la signe de la main, okay, on fait la signe de la main, or they just wave their hands, right? So that's what the 3 things. So the last question, que disent les Français pour saluer? What the French people they say in order to greet. So they say bonjour or salut. Okay, but all these answers you got to write it in French. Okay, you can just copy from the text, okay, as we do in English. So here we have the answers. The answers are a bit bigger, okay, so and the ones which are in green can be taken from the question, okay, can be taken from the question in green. So the other ones are you should be copying from the text. Comment est-ce qu'on montre le respect en Inde? How do we show respect in India? Avec le geste. avec le geste, it means with the gesture. Okay, with the gesture vanakkam. Okay, avec le gesture, with the gesture vanakkam. Okay, or you can even add ou namaste. Okay? On montre le respect en Inde. So we show respect in India. So that's actually an extra, but you can add it. So the second question, que disent les jeunes Indiens pour saluer? What the young Indians they say in order to greet. Saluer means to greet. Right? Ils disent, okay, they say good morning ou hi. Okay, so good morning ou hi pour saluer, in order to greet. So the third question, comment les Français se saluent-ils? How the French they greet each other. En France, on se serre la main. In France, they shake hands. On s'embrasse, okay, they hug. Ou on fait signe de la main, or they show sign in their hand. They just wave their hand. The last question, que disent les Français pour saluer? What the French people say to salute, to greet. Ils disent bonjour ou salut. Okay, they say bonjour ou salut. Salut means hi. Okay, so voila. So that's it. The 18th exercise. So now we'll just revise the dialogue A. Okay, so the dialogue A, we'll just read it once in French, then we'll go for the English meanings. We already did this. Okay, you already did this with Monsieur Ramesh, but we'll just give a small revision as you got an exam the next week. Okay, so dialogue A. Kumar, tiens, Vivek, bonsoir. Vivek, bonsoir Kumar. Comment ça va? Kumar, très bien. Et toi? Vivek, bien. Je te présente Divya, ma cousine. Elle habite à Paris. Divya, c'est Kumar, un ami d'enfance. Kumar, enchanté Divya. Comment ça va? Vous êtes française? Divya, oui, je suis française, mais en fait, je suis d'origine pondichéриenne. Kumar, c'est votre première visite en Inde? Divya, oui, c'est ma première visite. Kumar, et alors bon séjour en Inde et bonne soirée. Divya, merci et à vous aussi. Voilà. So this is actually a small conversation in an evening party. Okay, as the lesson's name, it's actually Avin Soiree, right, at the evening party. So this dialogue takes place in an evening party between Kumar, Vivek and Divya. Okay, so Vivek, it's actually hosting, I think, and Kumar is a guest, and Divya is there also. So Divya is actually the cousin of Vivek, cousin of Vivek, and Kumar and Vivek, they are childhood friends. So we'll start from the beginning. Kumar, hey Vivek, good evening. Vivek, good evening Kumar, how are you? Kumar, very good or very fine. And you? Vivek, fine. I introduce you Divya, my cousin. She lives in Paris. Divya, this is Kumar, a childhood friend. Kumar, glad to meet you Divya. Enchanté means glad to meet you or nice to meet you. How are you? You are French? Divya, yes, I am French, but in fact, I am from Pondicherry. I am an origin of Pondicherry. Kumar, is it your first visit to India? Divya, yes, it's my first visit. Kumar, so then, have a good stay in India and have a good evening. Divya, thank you and to you. Okay, so thank you and you also have a good evening. So et à vous aussi means and same to you or and you too. So this is dialogue A, and here we got the questions of dialogue A. Okay, so les questions du dialogue A. So after each dialogue we'll be having questions. Okay, for each lesson we'll be having 5 questions. So here these three questions belong to dialogue A. Okay, qui est Divya? Qui est Divya? Who is Divya? So Divya is the cousin of Vivek, right? Divya is the cousin of Vivek. So but you got to answer it in French. Divya est la cousine de Vivek. Okay, so like in English we can't use apostrophe s. You can't write Divya is Vivek's cousin. Okay, Vivek apostrophe s cousin. We don't have that term in French. Okay, you got to write this way. Is the cousin of Vivek. Okay, Divya est la cousine de Vivek. The second question, Divya est-elle française? Is Divya a French? Okay, is Divya French? Oui, elle est française. Yes, she is French. Oui means yes. And those who are new to French, so careful with the spelling of oui. It's O-U-I, not Q-U-I. Okay, so Q-U-I means key. The first question you can see Q-U-I means who. It's a questioning word. Key means who. Oui, O-U-I means yes. Okay, so oui, elle est française. Yes, she is French. And the C, okay, the question C belongs to the second dialogue. And question D, okay, qui est Kumar? Okay, qui est Kumar? Who is Kumar? And Kumar est l'ami de Vivek. Okay, who is Kumar, they are asking. So you can write Kumar is a friend of Vivek, or Kumar is a cousin of Divya. Okay, you can write either ways. Kumar est l'ami de Vivek. Okay, or Kumar est le cousin. Okay, we'll write the masculine form, est le cousin de Divya. Yep, it's fine. So now we'll go for dialogue B. So dialogue B. We'll just read it once in French. Aditya, bonjour madame, on se connaît? Divya, non, pas possible. C'est ma première visite à Pondichéry. Aditya, ah pardon, moi je suis Aditya. Et vous? Divya, je m'appelle Divya. Je suis la cousine de Vivek. Aditya, enchanté Divya. Je parle un peu français. Divya, ah bon, quelle surprise. Vous parlez bien. Aditya, merci, vous êtes gentil. À tout à l'heure. Divya, à bientôt. So this is actually in the same party. Okay, in the same party. Okay, so Divya is now meeting Aditya. Okay, Aditya is another person. Okay, so they are having a small conversation. Okay, so Aditya starts. So good evening. Okay, so bonjour means good morning or a good day. Good day, ma'am. So we know each other. On se connaît means we know each other. Divya says no, not possible. Okay, no, not possible. C'est ma première visite à Pondichéry. It's my first visit to Pondicherry. Aditya says, sorry. Okay, oh, sorry. Me, I am Aditya. And you? Okay, so he's introducing himself. Okay, so, oh, sorry. Me, I am Aditya. And you? So Divya says, je m'appelle Divya. So my name is Divya. Je suis la cousine de Vivek. I'm the cousin of Vivek. Okay, I'm the cousin of Vivek. So Aditya, enchanté Divya. So nice meeting you, Divya. Okay, so the first time when we meet someone, we say enchanté. Okay? Nice meeting you, Divya. Je parle un peu français. I speak a little bit French. So Divya says, ah bon, is it? Okay, ah bon, it's an expression. So we say, is it? Question mark. Quelle surprise. What a surprise. Vous parlez bien. Okay, so and she is appreciating. Vous parlez bien. You speak very well. You speak well. Aditya says, thank you. Merci. Vous êtes gentil. Okay, so you are gentle. You are kind. Gentil means gentle or kind. Vous êtes gentil. So à tout à l'heure. À tout à l'heure means it's an expression we use to say in some time. We'll meet at some time. So Divya, à bientôt. Okay, see you soon. Okay, à bientôt means see you soon. And à tout à l'heure, which means the same, almost like à bientôt, which means we know when we're gonna meet the next. Okay, it's actually happening the same evening party. Anyway, they are going to cross ways. Okay, so anyway, they are going to meet again. So they say à tout à l'heure. Okay? And then à bientôt. Okay? So that's it, the dialogue B. So now we'll go for the questions which belong to dialogue B now. Les questions du dialogue B. So we got two questions, which is C and E. Okay, the third question and the last question, they are from dialogue B. Aditya, Divya et Kumar. Où sont-ils? Okay, Aditya, Divya and Kumar. So where are they? Où means where. Qui means who. Comment means how. Okay. So où sont-ils? Where are they? Ils sont à une soirée. Okay, they are in a soirée. They are in a party. Okay, soirée means a party. So they are in a party. The next question. Quelle est la nationalité de Divya? What is the nationality of Divya? Okay, so even in the first question we saw, elle est française. She is French. Oui, elle est française. She is French. Okay, so then we'll continue with the exercises and the other things. Okay, in the revision. All the best.